As you know, I'm making the Help Me web app just like the sample code at this point from the BTB course. That sample code is for editing. Okay, I'm going to the web folder here. It's for editing the content which the user will see in the index of the Help Me directory. The content which appears when the user navigates to the index.php is curated and created by the admins. So I have a directory here called admin, which has its own index page and a login script. And that's what I've created, and I'm here to report about it in this video. Here's the login script. The first thing the login script does is it checks to see if the user is already logged in. And the way that it does that is by calling the isLoggedIn method of the session object. So the login script doesn't access the session directly. It checks with the session object to find things out about the session, especially things that relate to whether the user is logged in or not. So if the user is logged in, login.php, which is this script, will redirect the user's web browser to index.php. There's no reason to waste time if the user is logged in. Otherwise, it goes right along and runs the rest of the script. Here, the script will check to see if this page was reached because a form was submitted. So if the form was submitted and that's how the user got to this page, then it gets the username and password from the form. It checks the database table for user by calling the authenticate static method of the user class. And that will return either an object, which is the user, or it will return false. If it returns true, then we update the session by letting it know that it should log in this user, and then it redirects the user's browser to index.php. Otherwise, it just sets the message variable to username password combination is incorrect. Okay, now this is if this page was reached because a form was submitted. Now, if a form was not submitted and we got to this page, then just set username and password to empty strings. Then, moving right along, there's the HTML output. It presents the form and a message. It basically will show you anything that was stored in the $message variable. If there was nothing stored in that $message variable, then this statement just turns into white space, which gets rendered as nothing in the browser. Then the form is presented, and the form will most likely have two empty text fields, one for the username and one for the password. But if this form, like if the user had entered incorrect username and password, this form would still get displayed. But it will fill out these two text fields with the erroneous information, which the user had filled out in the previous form. So basically the HTML for this page only gets displayed in two cases. The first is if the form was not reached. In other words, if the script, this login script, was not reached because a form was submitted. Or two, this login.php page was reached because a form was submitted, but the username and password were not valid. They were not found in the database. So in the case where this script is reached because a form was submitted with wrong information, then the message will be displayed and the form will be presented, but it will be pre-populated with the information that was bad, allowing the user to edit the information. On the other hand, if this login.php script was reached by a simple GET request, which is a HTTP request for the page, then it will just display the form with blank form fields. So that's what this script does. The other one which we edited was this one. In the index.php in the admin folder. There's another index.php in the help me folder. So that's a folder above the admin folder. But this index page is specifically for the admin area, and it will be used to show a menu of things that the admin person can do. So at this point, there's no real content here, but there's some PHP code here, which basically redirects the user to the login.php if this user is not logged in according to the session. So that's basically what I did, and I'm summarizing it in this video. Let me just emphasize here that the admin area has a login and index. Let me fold it up. The help me has an index. This index is for displaying the finished product to the user, and this user can be an admin who wants to enjoy the content, or it could be anybody on the internet who's not an admin. To drive the point home, I'm going to navigate to this. Okay, we go to production, the help me section. Okay, here it asks for a username and password, and then I log in, and it takes me to the index page for the admin area, not the index page of help me. Okay, this video is over for now.